good morning. Hey, welcome to the Conservative Cat Show. I so do appreciate you tuning in this morning. Go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We've got so much to get to this morning. A lot of funny stories. I don't know. I cracked up laughing, and I can't stop thinking about this story. The publisher of Franklin the Turtle. I used to read these books all the time. That's probably why I find it really amusing. The publisher of the Canadian Icon. So Franklin the Turtle is Canadian. He's from the or from a publisher in Canada. And Pete Hegseth had shared this hilarious meme out there. And I guess the publisher's panties are all up in a bunch about it. So we're going to get to that story. But first, I do want to talk about the winner. Woohoo! Van Epps. So he was declared the winner in Tennessee, the 7th Congressional District there. In this special election, I've got some friends who live in the area. And the Democrat nominee, the candidate there and the Democrat on the Democrat side was a nut job. Okay, so we're very lucky that, or we're very blessed. We're very blessed that Van Epps had won that seat. It shouldn't have been as close as it was, to be honest with you. I mean, he won more than I thought he was going to win. But the fact that this district was in contention at all bothers me. So we'll get to that. The Illinois congressman just declared war on American graduates. And I'll tell you how he did that coming up in just a little while. Smash that like button, subscribe. Always support the program via Patriot Punch. This is our premium pre-workout. This is our fruit punch flavor, Patriot Pump pre-workout. Use promo code ConservativeCat at checkout. It's got 150 milligrams of caffeine. We pair it with a black pepper extract, so that way your caffeine works for you and you don't experience the crazy crash when the caffeine's paired with sugar. It does all kinds of crazy things, caffeine, when it's not taken correctly. When you pair it with like an exorbitant amount of sugar like they do in the energy drinks, you're not going to get the long-lasting effect of that caffeine. So we've got it for you. Promo code ConservativeCat at checkout for $10 off. All right. So the special election of 2025. This is the last election of 2025, and it has been decided. The decision desk called this race. The Fox News decision desk called this race in Tennessee. This is the 7th Congressional District for Republican Matt Van Epps. Congratulations, Matt. Congratulations. Van Epps, he earned 53.3% of the vote. With the vote for Democrat Afton Ben, she's bizarre. She had 45.6% of the vote. Now, that's pretty close. It's too close for comfort for me. It should have never been that close. This is a reliably red district. Now the winner is going to serve out the rest of former Mark Green's term. Okay, Mark Green was a Republican. He retired earlier this year to take a job in the private sector. Okay, so Matt Van Epps, he is a retired U.S. Marine, former commissioner of the Tennessee Department of General Services, and he went into Tuesday's election really with a ton of confidence, this guy. And I don't know, 53% of the vote, that's too close for comfort for me. Although he won a little bit more than I thought he garnered more of the vote than I thought he was going to get. I thought it was going to be a little closer than that, like a nail biter. But I mean, it was pretty darn close. So he went in with a ton of confidence. He said, quote, on Tuesday, we were up in early voting. We're just going to keep pressing forward to win today. Now this Afton girl, she is a sitting state representative, and she has kind of earned this nickname, Afton Ben. She's earned the nickname of the AOC of Tennessee. She supports far left policies. She supports AOC. AOC supports her. And she too was very confident going into the Tuesday election. And she says, for me, we've already won the hearts and minds of many Tennesseans and across the country, she remarked. So that right there tells you that she doesn't give a damn about Tennessee or that district specifically, and that she has political aspirations. She's talking about across the country. Okay. What do you mean? Hearts and minds of people across the country. This woman clearly, even in that short little comment that she made on Tuesday, doesn't give a damn about those who are in the 7th Congressional District in Tennessee. She added, I think the electorate is shifting to accept a candidate like me that has a progressive track record. Look, when you're running for public office, you probably don't want to say anything that indicates that you hate the community, you hate the city and the state, and that's what you did a couple of weeks before this election actually took place. That's the situation she found herself in. And after she did that, I was like, does this really lose her the election? No, I didn't think so. I thought that it was still going to be pretty close. Even with her doing this, it might have changed things a little bit, where it wasn't such a nail biter. I was expecting it to be a nail biter, which it kind of was. 53% of the vote. That's not winning by a landslide. Van Epps, but she literally said this out loud on tape, that she hated the people in that community and in that city and in that state. So Afton Ben, she is a woke pro-Mamdani Democrat, and she serves in the state legislature. She doesn't want to serve in the state legislature. She has political aspirations, as she indicated, that we've changed the hearts and minds of people across the country. Is that really your goal right now? Probably not. You're just trying to win your district. But that tells you all you really need to know. She's also teamed up with AOC. AOC has come out and supported her, actually at a rally, and I'll get to that here in just a second. But Ben, she was under the microscope just last week when her comments had resurfaced. So they were made on a 2020 podcast, and she talked about how she hated Nashville. Quote, "I hate the city. I hate the bachelorettes. I hate the pedal taverns. I hate country music. I hate all things that make Nashville apparently an it city to the rest of the country." She's also tried to impede immigration enforcement operations in her state. She wrote an op-ed in 2019 when she was a community organizer that referred to the residents there as racists. So this person is very far left. We should be throwing our praying hands up to and saying, thank you, Jesus, that she did not get this seat in this special election. She said, quote, "Today, Republicans have decided that they're going to start this narrative that me, a state representative who represents downtown Nashville, doesn't like the city." So when these comments from 2020 resurfaced, Republicans were saying, yeah, she doesn't even like the city that she's running. And okay, she shouldn't even like the district or the people. And Republicans said that. Why? Because she said that on tape. But take a listen. Here we go.
State Representative Afton Bain here, the Democratic nominee for the 7th Congressional Special Election in Tennessee. For those of you just joining in, I often record segments in my Jeep Wrangler called Wranglin' Time. Yes, there is a theme song, and no, I will not be singing it today. But yes, I will bring it back because I know a lot of you miss it, and you've said I sing well. So I look a little rough. I have bags under my eyes.
So off the bat, okay, like, she is such an AOC. She's an influencer, and she's a state representative in her spare time. I just had to chime in. Like, this is influencer vibes, TikToker vibes. And I get it. She's young. But, you know, have some professionalism. You know, I look rough. Like, we're not your best friends, okay? We're your constituents, and you're supposed to be using this video to explain yourself and your comments that you made back in 2020. Show some class, show some respect. But no, of course not, because she's the AOC of 10.
Because the Republican eye of Sauron has finally shifted towards moi. And I'm sure you've seen the commercials. I'm sure you've seen the onslaught of ads. And then today, the Republicans decided that they're going to start this narrative that me, the state representative who represents downtown Nashville, doesn't like the city. Now, I always want Nashville to be better, right? I want Nashville to be a place where working people can thrive, right? But sure, I get mad at the Bachelorette sometimes. I get mad at the pedal taverns, right? And you're talking to someone who has cried no less than 10 times in the Country Music Hall of Fame. The girl that just goes to the Ryman to hang out. No, we're not even going to go there. We are so close to winning this race, which is why these rumors are getting more wild. So I can't wait to see what they come up with next. But y'all, please keep doing the work. We had a huge group show up today to canvass in the middle of the afternoon. It was raining, it was wet, and this girl came up to me. She said, your campaign is inspiring so many of us across the state and across the country. Keep it up. And so you know what? I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is fighting to make healthcare and life more affordable for Tennesseans. And so I'm not going to take the bait. So let's go.
Okay.
State Representative.
Oh boy. Alrighty. So yeah, typical self-loathing leftist. She does hate it. It was all on tape. Okay, it was recorded, it was all on tape. Actually, let me pull up the tape for you. I think I can find it really quick. Sorry, guys. I probably should have pulled that one earlier. But there was an Emerson poll. She mentioned healthcare and cost of living. There was a poll, an Emerson poll, that revealed that those are the issues that are motivating that district specifically. And I have a feeling that's probably across the country. What's motivating voters in 2025? And the issues motivating the people in the 7th, the top issue was the economy. The economy is at the top with 38%, followed by housing affordability at 15%, healthcare, 13%, threats to democracy also at 13%, immigration at 6%, crime and education each at 5%. So Republicans really need to take note here as to what is driving our elections, these most recent elections. It is healthcare and cost of living. Okay. People aren't too concerned about immigration because Donald Trump has done a great job at crime reducing in a lot of these blue cities that he's been able to get in, not Chicago, but it is kind of reducing. I mean, they are doing some operations there in Chicago. Just probably could be way more. All right. Now I do want to share this with you. This was the tape that Republicans were talking about. She goes, rumors. I wonder what kind of rumors they're going to come up with next week, being that I'm so close to winning the election. This isn't a rumor. This is real. She was on a podcast in 2020 and she said this.
I've been heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city. I hate the Bachelorettes. I hate the pedal taverns. I hate country music. I hate all of the things that make Nashville apparently an it city to the rest of the country, but I hate it. Yeah, I'm that girl at the airport that all these Bachelorettes are giddy walking out in their two-toned colored Pantone pink shirts, and they walk out and I'm like, they're like, oh my God, Nashville is so bad.
They're so loud.
I've been heavily involved with the Nashville.
Okay, so she said it. She said that she hates everything that makes Nashville, essentially. So President Donald Trump, he showed up via a tele-rally with Van Epps to get out the vote efforts. That probably definitely pushed him across the finish line. He told the crowd, President Donald Trump, let's make it a sweeping victory. It wasn't. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now. They're watching your district, the whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something. It's got to show that the Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been. And yeah, I mean, the Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been because these Democrats are just so dang unpopular. Like, listen to her. I mean, she's just not popular. It sounds like a Valley girl. Hey, whatever. Like her and AOC, really, that's the best you've got to offer. Democrat Party. So no wonder the Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been. But I was a little nervous about this race. I really was, because it was going to show if the Republican Party is as strong as we say we are. And Afton, Ben here, she also held a tele-rally, and she was with AOC. They also trotted out Al Gore, the has-been, the who's who progressive AOC and the has-been Al Gore. They trotted them out there in this tele-rally, and AOC told the supporters, Ben's supporters, the fact that we are here today and that this race is tremendously tight is a testament to how the American people are feeling in this moment. I genuinely believe we are at a time when people are increasingly recognizing that our fight is not left and right, but top and bottom. They are about all of us as working Americans. Gosh, she's good. AOC, she knows what to say for all that she is and all the stupidity. Like, she knows what to say. And I think that this being as close as it was is a little freaky. Republicans have got to do a better job. And President Donald Trump has got to do a better job of advocating for Americans, working class Americans. He's always done a good job, but he's got to keep that momentum up, talking about H-1B visas and how there's no talent in America, and cozying up to Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and the CEO of Dell, okay, cozying up to these people. That's why people don't like the Republican Party. And I get it. We have to beat China in AI. But, this isn't really who Donald Trump, this wasn't 2016 Donald Trump. Okay, 2020 Trump is not 2016 Donald Trump. 2016 Donald Trump, outsider completely. Now you're seeing Donald Trump work with some of these tech oligarchs, and that's freaky. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, some of these tech bros. And I get it. Like, we want to beat China in AI. I would like to see us beat China via the tariffs, trade policy, doing what Donald Trump has done up to this point. I don't want to get into this regime change in Venezuela. We talked a lot about that yesterday. He's got to be for the American people. America first, America only. Okay. And he's been criticized by members of his own party, America First, advocates like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not going to sit here and say that I love everything that Donald Trump has done up to this point. Marjorie Taylor Greene is right when she tweets out that, hey, Americans care about healthcare, not what's going on in Venezuela, not regime change in Venezuela. Now, we do care about the drug boats coming in, and I'll get to that here shortly. The narco-terrorism has got to stop, because I know that you know, and I know that you know, though, that I know that people are dying due to fentanyl, opioids, cocaine. Loved ones of ours, people very close to us, are dying, and we need to stop the narco-terrorism. But we also need to get better at the healthcare and the economy. Like, I don't know why, but Dems, they've got this ability to make that their message, that they're all about affordability. Conservatives are actually about affordability. For example, the Affordable Care Act credit or tax credits, that of course is subsidizing the healthcare system and ballooning prices. So, for example, the Inflation Reduction Act, it wasn't actually the Inflation Reduction Act, it actually caused costs to go up. For example, the electric vehicle tax credit, they put $4,500 into Americans' pockets to go buy electric vehicles. Well, guess what the car companies did? They turned around and increased their prices by $4,500 for their electric vehicles. That is how the healthcare system works. You flood the zone here with a ton of taxpayer cash, give people taxpayer cash to go out there and buy healthcare. then the healthcare premiums are going to go up. That's why tissue boxes are $15. It's because the hospitals, the pharmaceutical companies, that's why the cost of drugs go up so high, because they know that there's an endless pile of cash, taxpayer cash, and the government is going to subsidize them. So us conservatives, we have to get better about that message, because we're truly about affordability and tackling the root causes of inflation, which is really just spending taxpayer money, and we've got to stop spending money. Now, the Dems, their messaging is, well, let me give you all of the money that the government has gotten, has stolen from others. That is the Dems. But for some odd reason, they're just really good at this affordability messaging. This morning, NPR WGLT, it was funny. Former WGLT intern, by the way. I used to work for NPR. They posted something which was really hilarious. I clicked into the article, which I shouldn't have because I always roll my eyes when I do. But the headline was, prices I'm paraphrasing, prices aren't down as much as you would think under the Trump administration, or we did an analysis and prices aren't down as much as you'd think. And then they have one graphic of the cost of milk and how it's only gone down by like 50 cents. Only milk, eggs are down by at least, a few dollars. Okay, they were like $6. Now they're like $3. Milk has gone down by 50 cents according to their own data, which I mean is nothing to like bat your eyes at. Gas prices, insanity. I was looking at places. Some places are lower than $2. Okay, a gallon, $2 a gallon. One, I think 97. Down south somewhere. I think Illinois, without all the gas taxes, we probably would see gas at about $2. It was like $2.47 in Bloomington, Illinois. So yeah, the prices are going down. You chose milk, which is one of the prices that hasn't been as affected, but still affected. 50 cents is 50 cents a gallon. I mean, it all adds up. That's the point of affordability, and making everything affordable across the board. But maybe some things more affordable than others, and that kind of offsets the cost. The gas, the eggs, he got that down really quick. But yeah, I just can't believe leftists, and like they actually put the headline out there. Trump's prices aren't as good as he says they are. But then you link to the data and you actually show the price drops. What? So yeah, your table didn't reflect the headline. Anyway, I want to shift gears. Let's talk about the publisher of the cartoon series, Franklin the Turtle. This cracked me up this morning. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching. Good morning, Cat and Chat. Good morning, Cat and Chat. Appreciate you being here, Lisa. G.I. Joel. Subscribe. Tell someone to subscribe today. The publisher of Franklin the Turtle. Hilarious. He's having a cow. The publishers are having a cow because Pete Hegseth had used had used the Franklin the Turtle in a meme on social media. And the reason why the left is losing their marbles right now is because they can't take a joke. They want you to be as miserable as they are. And that's kind of sad. So here is, I'm going to share with you the statement from the publisher. Truly funny stuff. They want you to be as miserable as they are, and they can't take a freaking joke to save their lives. Okay, so according to Fox News Sunday, Pete Hegseth had shared out this meme. I saw it. It's funny. Parroting the Franklin series, depicting the turtle firing a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, and I'll share the meme with you here in just a second, aimed at men on boats, and the title was Franklin Targets Narco-Terrorists. And the caption that Hegseth used was, "For your Christmas wish list," and he joked around, when he was sharing this fake book cover. Why he chose Franklin, I don't know. I'm glad that he did. The left cannot handle it, though. I am here for it. I know you are here for it. It's funny. And the right can definitely meme. Here's the beauty of memeing. You have to take something that everybody already kind of knows about and then use that and then meme with that. So the Daily Wire does a really good job at memes. I'm not a big fan of the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro, but they do a really great job with the TikTok memes. They used Michael Scott, and I'll have to try to find it. Hold on. I got this. I'm going to on the fly. Here we go. This is just the way Conservative Cat Show goes. I'm going to share this meme with you. I'm a big Office fan. My ringtone on my cell phone is actually The Office. So I love The Office. I always have. And this is just really funny to me. Here we go. Okay. I wanted to share this with you. This is the meme from Daily Wire. Daily Wire can definitely meme. The White House can meme. And the purpose of the ability to create a good meme comes from taking something that already exists and repurposing it. Take a look.
Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me.
Dems when Trump deports an illegal Somalian violent criminal who hates America. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. I am so here for it. The memes are so good. This administration can definitely meme. Now, I want to share with you, I had it up there before. Here it is. This is the statement from the publisher, the Canadian publisher behind the Franklin series. It's called Kids Can Press. They condemned the secretary's meme in a statement, and they posted this statement really, honestly, shortly after Pete Hegseth had actually posted his meme. I think this was the next day, so they're following closely the secretary's social media account. Here's what the statement says. Franklin the Turtle was a beloved Canadian icon who has inspired generations of children and stands for kindness, empathy, and inclusivity. We strongly condemn any denigrating, violent, or unauthorized use of Franklin's name or image, which directly contradicts these values. Yeah, I guess. Okay. So glad they cleared things up about who Franklin is and what he stands for. I'm sure everybody was just, nail biting, waiting for the statement to come out from the publisher to clarify who Franklin the Turtle actually is. Look, the meme was really funny. Here, I'll actually share it with you. Here's Pete Hegseth's social media for your Christmas wish list. Franklin targets narco terrorists. Here he is, a little grenade, and these Venezuelans here with piles of coke. Look, I'm just glad that they cleared this up. That Franklin is actually, very empathetic, very inclusive, very kind. Look, so the meme here is in reference to the ongoing U.S. strikes and these drug smuggling boats that are coming in off the Caribbean. And this has stirred up a lot of controversy over the last month. Detractors, really never Trumpers, have argued that the strikes are illegal. I've told you why they're not illegal. Okay, they're saying that they're illegal because Congress didn't approve the strikes. Look, you don't have to have Congress approve every military operation. Okay, it's just not precedent. And through the Alien Enemies Act, which was amended by President Donald Trump via executive order, it's of 1798, the Alien Enemies Act, he deemed TDA, Tren de Aragua, a terrorist organization. And therefore, that gives him the ability to issue strikes against them because they have been deemed enemies of the state. Okay, or of the country, enemies of the United States. And, I don't know what these publishers are thinking. Do they think the criminal drug smugglers who are smuggling in substance like fentanyl that kills tons of people, kills family members, cocaine, opioids, do they think that those criminals smuggling those drugs into the United States, do they want you to empathize with them? Do they want you to include them? Or do they believe authorities should go and do something about it? Do they believe that officials should just ignore it or should do something about it and stop it? That's what I would ask these publishers. Like, what is your belief here? Do you think that we should stop them or let them continue what they're doing? Would they prefer officials just ignore this and allow the drug smugglers to go unchecked and to destroy countless American lives and families, all at the expense of fake compassion or showing compassion towards drug smugglers or empathy towards drug smugglers? And it's all fake. Like, can you truly show compassion towards a drug smuggler or a drug dealer? I have zero compassion for those people and empathy for those people. Do I want them to be saved and to change their life around? Yes. Do I want them to be stopped? 100%. And like I said, I think that it's this weaponizing of Christianity, and the left does a great job at this. They do a great job at the affordability message. Just give other people's money away. And really what they're doing is they're taking Christian concepts out of context. The Bible doesn't say just give everything you have, and steal from somebody else to pay somebody else. Okay, that's not what the Bible talks about. Neither does the Bible talk about Christians being empathetic and that being a tenet of Christianity. You can be compassionate, but also that compassion comes with telling people when they're wrong. True compassion, true love, true kindness is telling people, hey, the truth, and hey, you're wrong. Okay, drug smuggler, what you're doing is not right. Okay, right and wrong. And being that light in the darkness, that's what we're called, to be the salt and the light. Okay, so yeah, how exactly does this cartoon turtle take this action on, this active compassion? He's actually very empathetic and compassionate and kind. The publishers say that that's what Franklin embodies. I find it really hard to believe that Franklin would be super compassionate and empathetic for cartel members who put people in acid buckets and cut their heads off and put them on stakes. Okay, but I digress. I don't think, what would the compassion look like? Franklin sitting there applauding the cartel members as they dip somebody in a bucket of acid? I digress. Okay, some jokes are just funny. Okay, Pete Hegseth, this meme is just outright funny. Okay, so until the left admits that, hey, sometimes things are just funny and, let's just leave it at that. Until then, they're not going to be happy. They would be much better off just admitting that, hey, the right can meme. It's funny. And really, this is just nothing more than a personal problem, their issue with Franklin being used in a meme, an internet meme by our secretary, Secretary of War. All right, ladies and gentlemen, patriots, prayer warriors, welcome back to the Conservative Cat Show. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. We love to chase the truth. We love to chase laser pointers, but we love to chase the truth here at the Conservative Cat Show. My kittens. What is that from? The Tiger King. Welcome back, cats and kittens. We've got a spicy bowl of globalist alphabet soup today. H1Bs. Okay, H1Bs, H4s. Okay, we'll talk about this because Illinois Congressman Raja Christian Mortai. Yes, this is a guy. He's reintroduced the Hire Act, He hasn't met a foreign labor expansion scheme that he didn't like. He's back with something called the Hire Act. Okay, he's reintroduced the Hire Act, this Illinois congressman. And I hope that, Donald Trump doesn't sign this into law. I'd imagine that it passes because there's tons of Republicans, like I said, that are backing these tech bros, allowing these tech bros to get away with importing foreign labor, cheaper foreign labor. Don't let this name fool you, Hire Act, because what he's actually hiring is not you, the American worker. And I want to get into it, but smash that like button, share this out with your friends. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a 50-second break. Hey, smash that like button, share this out with your friends. I said I appreciate you being here. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get into Raja Krishnamurti. So he is an Illinois congressman, and he wants to double the number of H-1B visas from 65,000 to 130,000. Okay, that's insane. Why? Well, this is what he says. He wants to build jobs and industries of tomorrow. America must strengthen our workforce while welcoming top talent from around the globe. That's a quote from a news release as to why he reintroduced the Hire Act, which really just lifts the cap on H-1Bs. And it's going to be more than that, by the way. It's going to be more than the 130,000 H-1Bs that we allow. Because H-4s are given to the spouses of those who get the H-1Bs. So it's going to be way more foreign labor than you would think, okay, than is laid out in this bill, 130,000. Translation here, I'll translate the politician speak in the news release, the political speak. Why build stronger American workforce when you can import a cheaper workforce? Why build a stronger American workforce? Why have these companies pay people what they're worth when we can just import cheaper labor and keep people at slave wages? So this is really annoying. It's a slap in the face to you, patriots, Americans. And here's a big problem for Raja. One of the researchers from the Heritage Foundation, he's an immigration researcher at the Heritage Foundation, Simon Hankinson. He took one look at this bill and said, nope. And that's a problem because you've got the Heritage Foundation, which is not some fringe right-wing group. Okay, these are moderate Republicans. And I don't know, I'm worried about Republicans voting for this because of President Donald Trump's rhetoric surrounding H-1Bs. That Laura Ingraham interview where he said that there is no American talent. Would he sign a bill if this were to pass the House and Senate? I don't know. I think that the bill is tone deaf, though. And so does Simon Hankinson from the Heritage Foundation. And I mean, this is a think tank. It's a Republican think tank. And when they come out and say that, hey, this is bad and tone deaf, that truly shows you how out of touch Congress is. And how out of touch this congressman is, how out of touch our president is if he agrees that we need more H-1B visas. And maybe the word isn't out of touch. Maybe it's calculated. And I think that's really what it is. It's these data centers. He wants the data centers, the AI. He wants to beat China in this. And I get that. Governor J.B. Pritzker picks losers all of the time. Okay. Wind, solar, these are Chinese operatives to come here to the state, and he gives them tax incentives. For example, Goshen, CCP backed, $530 million. Gives them all kinds of tax breaks. Okay. I would much rather AI data centers, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk's getting the tax breaks, Meta getting the tax breaks, rather than a communist foreign entity getting the tax breaks. Okay. And things that don't work, like wind and solar, those just don't work. They're not efficient forms of energy, not to mention national security risks. When you allow a foreign power to buy up farmland here in the country, there's national security issues with that. But if we're going to start hiring H-1B visa workers in these tech companies like Meta to build these AI data centers and to work in these AI data centers, that's a national security issue too. I do think that the AI thing is a bigger winner than, say, wind and solar panels. Okay. Solar panels, they combust. We know that. Look at Olympia High School. You have Walmarts that put solar panels on their rooftops. They burn down, right? Augustana, or what college was that? I think it was Augustana College. There were all kinds of, fires due to the solar panels. Will the AI data centers be a bust? Probably not. But we have to be concerned about national security here. If we're going to be hiring, Meta is going to be hiring thousands upon thousands of H-1B visa workers. Okay, so Simon Hankinson, the Heritage Foundation researcher, reminds us that, hey, American graduates right now, they are facing 10% to 25% unemployment. Okay, these are our kids, these are our families, and this is our future. And they're already facing unemployment, and you're just going to ship in more people. It's going to worsen the situation here. So Congressman Rajah, he thinks that it's a perfect time to import more competition for those very kids who are facing that 10%, 25% unemployment rate. Okay, so you can't make this stuff up. So let me break this down for you. You've got a plate of bread, okay, and you got children who are hungry. Your children are hungry, and your government says, well, we need to bring in more children from outside the house, and they get to eat first to encourage innovation. Okay, and Rajah's whole argument here, and those on the left, Democrats who love the H-1Bs, importing foreign labor, because really this is the Democrat Party of the 1800s. They love enslaving people. And then the Republicans who have cozied up to the tech bros. What they are trying to say is that, okay, if we bring in the H-1B visa workers, then it's going to encourage innovation. These companies are going to do very well. The cheap labor is going to make these companies better off. And then therefore it's going to cause them to hire even more people. And then we'll hire the Americans. Well, that's not America first. That's America second. Okay. So, and it doesn't make sense. If you've got a plate of bread, you have children in your household. Okay. And then the government comes in and says, actually, we're going to have these children come in first, eat the bread. And then if there's crumbs left over, then the children in your household can eat. That's what this is. That's H-1B visas. And Simon Hankinson nails it. He says, quote, we've got unprecedented graduate unemployment. And this guy, Rajah, wants to double the number of foreign workers who will compete with these kids. And this isn't like genius level economics. I want to be clear. This is just common sense. If you flood the labor market, wages go down. If you flood the tech sector, opportunity goes down. Okay. You've eliminated competition for these jobs. If you flood the entry-level, mid-level jobs with workers from countries that you can pay far less, American families will lose. Okay, this is just common sense. And they try to, Raja and Republicans who are cozy with the tech sector, they'll try to manipulate you and talk you around in circles in some sort of roundabout way. This is going to be great for the American worker too, because it's going to inspire more innovation. These companies are going to do really well if we import, labor from around the globe. And then once they start doing really, really well, then they'll hire the Americans. Well, that never really happens. They just wind up hiring more and more, and then they can't keep raising the cap on these H-1B visas more and more and more, and they never truly hire the Americans. And I want you to remember something. AI is eliminating jobs right now. So graduating from college is tougher than ever. You're seeing them face these unemployment rates. And now you're also seeing AI. Okay, AI is going to eliminate jobs. It just is. And that's why I'm of the firm belief. I tell people not to be afraid of AI, because it's going to come down to two types of people: people who know how to use it, and people who don't. And the people who know how to use it will wind up getting the job. Okay, so it's here. You and I are not going to be able to stop this, especially with President Donald Trump incentivizing it. We're not going to be able to stop this industry. The question is, do we want America to do it, or do we want China to do it? And I think that's the crossroads that President Donald Trump has to kind of deal with here. But AI is eliminating jobs, and, companies, they're freezing hiring right now. And they want to see what jobs they can replace with AI to where they can save money. Okay. And that's just going to be, the facts. Congressman Raja wants to toss another 65,000 people into this pressure cooker, plus their spouses, like I said, not just the H-1B visa workers. And, you issue 65,000 more H-1B visas. But their spouses. So the spouses are eligible of H-1B visa spouses are eligible for work authorization. It's called H-4. So you're getting even more foreign labor. So the real number isn't 130,000 H-1B visa cap. We're not just talking about 65,000 more. We're probably talking like 100,000 more, 150,000 more. So we're looking at over 200,000 foreign labor or foreign workers every year entering the tech market that is already cutting staff because they're finding ways to cut jobs and replace them with AI. So this is the Hire Act. This is the Replace Act. Let's replace the American worker with a foreign worker who will work for less money. I want you to take a minute and visualize what this looks like. Silicon Valley is an all-you-can-eat buffet, big buffet, and American grads, they're arriving, and they've got their resumes in hand, and, their resumes, aka merit. Hey, I got a degree, learned everything I needed to learn, and they show up to the buffet here, and the line for the buffet is already out the door. Okay. And then you got CEOs on the inside, and they're waving everybody in to the club there. But if they see somebody who is brown, they say, okay, you're in the VIP line. You're going to get ahead of everybody else in line. Okay. India, come on in. China, come on in. If they see that you are from a foreign country or from overseas, come on in. American graduate, maybe we let you in, but you're definitely not going to get a nice entry-level job, mid-entry or middle-level job. We're going to have you like bus tables or something, or mop the floors. We're going to have you work on the floor of the manufacturing plant. And you can sweep. And this is the mass labor replacement program. Okay, so 72% of all H-1B visas come from India. Okay, the other 11% come from China. So when Raja, the Illinois congressman, says we need to find talent from around the globe, it's not really from around the globe now, is it? It's just from India. Okay, and a little bit from China. Together, it's 85% of the program. We're not really finding laborers from across the globe. It's not really diverse. You've got people coming from two countries. One of the countries is very adversarial with us, China, and is quite literally taking over the world as we speak. So Hankinson here, isn't knocking anybody's heritage. I'm not knocking anybody's heritage. I don't care that they're brown, or have a different skin color, have different hair color. It's not really about that. It's not about your heritage. There are Indian Americans who are on both sides of this debate. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's pro H-1B visas. But Nikki Haley's son is very anti H-1B visas, which, Nikki Haley being the rhino she is, I would think that her son would, be a proponent of H-1B visas. But he's come out of Indian heritage, and he's come out on, our side of the debate that says, hey, you can't replace American workers. So these two countries dominate the program. It's not like we're finding talent across the globe. Okay, we're finding talent from two countries, and who benefits? It's not the United States. It's not the kid in the Midwest tech kid who wants to be able to pay off his student loans. He's not benefiting. It's not families who are praying their kid lands his first real job in the tech sector. No. The winners are our foreign competitors. India is a foreign competitor of ours. I wouldn't say extremely adversarial, although more recently adversarial. These are foreign competitors, multinational tech giants who are ultimately political donors who want a cheaper labor force and want to make more money. And therefore, when they make more money, the political class makes more money. Okay, so I want to talk about national security. And this is more so a problem with China than it is with India. But either way, we should be competing with these people, not giving them the fast lane into our country and, them taking those trade secrets or those tech secrets and taking it back to their countries and then, using that against us in this competition. Like, it's all a competition. But there's also technology theft we have to talk about, and this is real. Probably keeps FBI agents up in the middle of the night. So Simon Hankinson says there is a subset of Chinese students and workers, and we have ample proof of this. They are here to steal technology, get their hands on our technology, and then send it back to China, and then China is going to try to beat us. In AI, the whole purpose of these tax credits breaks. You're starting to see AI data centers pop up everywhere in rural communities. You've got President Donald Trump to thank for that. And I know it sounds like I'm ripping on Trump. I would much rather talk about everything good that President Donald Trump is doing than everything bad. But arguably, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We do want to beat China in AI. I don't want the Chinese to beat us in this. But they're gonna, if you allow H-1B visa workers into the tech sector here, because like I said, there's ample proof of this. They're here to steal technology. I'm not saying every H-1B visa worker is here to spy, but I am saying that China literally has, and people don't know this, a government-run program. It's called 1,000 Talents. Okay, it's literally a government-funded program called 1,000 Talents, and it pays scientists abroad to go steal innovation and send it back home to China. We know this. Okay, so we've prosecuted it. It's not a conspiracy. And Congress's solution here, let's double the number of people in these sensitive tech fields where these scientists are coming from abroad, coming from China, and they're trying to steal the technology. Let's double that number of people in these sensitive tech fields. I mean, it's not just economically naive, it's nationally suicidal. You're just begging for the country to crumble in on itself at that point. So the Christian worldview is very simple. Let's bring this home biblically, right? The shepherd protects his flock before bringing in new sheep. Okay, this is not xenophobia, racism. It is biblical wisdom. You secure your home, you strengthen your family, you cultivate your own people, and then you extend hospitality. And hospitality is not the same as self-sabotage. If we have intelligence or information that Chinese students are taking our technology and sending it back home for them to beat us in this AI race, then we need to not self-sabotage and cut off Chinese students coming here or Chinese H-1B visa workers. We need to cut that off completely until we know for a fact that that's not happening, where they're stealing our innovation. Okay, so America has always welcomed talent, but I am at a point here, folks, where we just have to stop the program altogether. It has been abused, misused, and we never, until the globalist era, welcomed policies that undercut our own children. And this policy, the H-1B visa policy, was never meant to do that, undercut our own children. And until we restore it to its original intent, which was, maybe one or two people who can't perform, like literally can't find anybody to perform this very specific brain surgery, and we have to outsource it to a guy in China or India or wherever. What we're talking about here is 130,000 plus people coming over here. That's replacement. So Raja's Hire Act here represents the opposite of stewardship. It is the Tower of Babel version of labor policy, globalist, arrogant, and built on ignoring God-given dignity, the God-given dignity of the American workers. American workers should be prioritized. America first. Okay, so this is really bad for Illinois, specifically because we're already losing young people. Illinois has already lost a ton of population. We rank worst in the country when it comes to population loss. And you've got our own congressman telling those that remain in the state, the remaining tech grads who don't go to different states, hey, instead of creating opportunity for you, we're doubling down on foreign labor, and you're not going to have any kind of fair competition here because we're going to import even more foreign labor. And it's kind of like, it's like watching somebody bail water into a sinking boat. Like they're just shoveling water into a sinking boat. That's what this is like, the Hire Act. Illinois families feel abandoned by their politicians because they are. Raja has abandoned Illinois tech students, tech graduates, with this policy, and he's shoveling water into a sinking boat. So President Donald Trump is right when he says America first, America workers first, and we should put American workers first. We shouldn't abuse them. We shouldn't sideline them. They shouldn't be outbid by foreign labor pipelines for corporate convenience, whether that's, we should not be exploiting the American citizen. And the Hire Act is the opposite of America first. It is globalism first. It is big tech first. It is corporate donor first. Let me be clear. If America doesn't protect its own workforce, we will lose our technological, economic, and moral footing. And we cannot sacrifice the next generation for a few points on a corporate balance sheet. So the final word here, whose side are you on? The American graduate or the multinational corporation? Because Raja Krishnamurti, okay, he has made his choice, and it's evident that it is not you. He is not on your side. He is on the multinational corporation side. All right. Smash that like button, share this out with your friends. Appreciate you being here. Subscribe. Let me shift gears. I want to talk about this university student. I'm going to drink a little bit of my coffee here. Delicious. Iced coffee. I love iced coffee. I've kind of been on this kick of drinking out of mason jars. Don't know what it is. And glass straws. It's just kind of, I like to romanticize my life a little bit. And picking a glass that you like and a straw that you like. Yeah, it's the little things. Love your life and see your life the way God sees your life. All right, let's talk about this university student, okay? Because she referenced the Bible in her essay. Now, this really resonates with me, the story, because I've told you guys before, I can't even remember the professor's name at ISU, but Illinois State University, I graduated from there with a journalism degree. I was in a campaign messaging class, and the assignment was pick a political speech that you believe is of superior campaign messaging and that you think has good campaign messaging. I picked Donald Trump's Mount Rushmore speech. Still one of the best speeches I think that he's ever given. Him at Mount Rushmore, I think it was in 2020. Yeah, I think it was in 2020. But my professor gave me like an F on this paper, and then I wound up getting like a C in the class. So I passed the class, but I mean, up to that point, I had straight A's. I've never gotten a C in a class before, not even in high school, middle school. I've always been a straight A student. Worked really hard on this assignment, and I wasn't even like pro Donald Trump in it, you know, and I know that's hard to believe because like the conservative cat show. But I wasn't even super pro Donald Trump. I literally dissected his speech and made arguments as to why it was effective campaign messaging. And my professor failed me. And later, that same professor was quoted in a Washington Post hit piece about me. So there you go. Professor didn't like me. That's exactly what and he didn't like that I, you know, chose a Donald Trump speech for my prompt. But this woman, she's a university student, and the essay was assigned by a professor who I think is trans, may or may not be trans, but the professor gave her a 0 on the assignment. And that's not unsurprising. Unsurprising would be an understatement, of course, if the professor's trans. She quoted the Bible. Trans people hate the Bible. So unfortunately, discrimination is discrimination. And, you know, whether the left realizes that or not, or this trans professor realizes that or not, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be out of a job, my guy, probably, this trans professor, because now there's an investigation into whether discrimination happened here. Because there was a report made by the student that, hey, this was discriminatory. So it was a psychology course. University of Oklahoma. Her name is Samantha Fulnecki. And she was asked to write a 650-word essay reacting to an article about people who are perceived based on societal expectations of gender. Okay. Let me step back a second here. One, psychology is BS. I'm sorry. It is, how do I say this? Secular, the secular solution for spiritual affliction. Okay. And conflict. Okay. So I am of the belief addiction, gender dysphoria, all of that comes from demonic activity in that person's life. And really what that person needs is Jesus and a pastor, a shepherd to lead them to Christ. Okay. And that does not happen in psychology. It does not happen in psychiatry. They are trained to prescribe, and they are trained to tell you that you are a beautiful little snowflake no matter what, and that you are your affliction, and people have to accept you for that. So if you're bipolar, you must be accepted by society and you shouldn't be stigmatized. No. The Bible tells us to become a new creation. Okay, you are a new creation in Christ. You are not your sin. You are not your afflictions or your diseases or defects. Okay, bipolar disorder, depression. You are not that. You are made in the image of God, and you deserve the abundant life that God has planned for you. And it's up to you to tap into that abundant life. So psychology, psychiatry, you guys know my position on it. I think it's a secular approach to a spiritual problem, and it never works. Okay, so anyway, I just think that psychology, just the psychology course. Samantha, if you're listening, pick a different major. Okay, go into spiritual studies. Go become a pastor or ministry worker. You're going to do more work there, and more effective work there. Okay, so anyway, there's that. And then also, I don't understand why the psychology course or this professor is having the kids write an essay about societal expectations of gender. They were to react to an article about how people are perceived based on societal expectations of gender. Transgenders, they're a rising population, no doubt, but it's very small. Let me look this up. How many people actually identify as transgender in America today? How many Americans identify as trans? The assignments should be, this is 0.8% of the population, of the adult population, 18 plus. Now, 3.3 of the youth population identify as transgender. Now, these are sort of concerning. 2.1 million people identify as transgender in the U.S. Adults, 724,000 youth identify as transgender. Okay, relatively small. For these numbers, okay, I don't know why this is a class assignment. Now I'll tell you how many people are depressed, how many Americans are depressed. And we'll just pull up the 2024 number. 18%. So what did I say? 3.3% for the youths, 0.8% for the adults. American adults, 18% of them. I don't know if I've got children or youth. The youth population, 11.3%. So my argument here is that why in the hell would a psychology professor, when there's obviously a bigger problem than transgenderism and gender expectations and gender identity, this is something that's very small, like a small problem or small population that's affected by this. Depression is astronomically more. So why not create an assignment that talks about depression and urges the students to react to an article about depression? That would probably go a longer way in their real life. So college doesn't prepare you for real life career scenarios, by the way. When you're a psychologist, you graduate, the chances that you encounter a transgender child, much smaller, or transgender adult, much smaller than encountering somebody who suffers from depression. Okay. All right. In her essay, Samantha Fulnecki, this was important. I had to go into that because we have to understand psychology. We have to understand the purposes here at the University of Oklahoma, what they're supposed to be training their psychologists in, and what is the most. I'm not saying that you don't have a topic on transgenderism, because there is a small subset of the population that is affected by gender identity. But assignments, this is maybe a fourth of a day, like a fourth of a class period, where you dedicate, maybe a small lecture to gender identity. having the class do a 650 word assignment, word essay on it is just it's stupid. Okay, so in her essay, Samantha, she argued that traditional gender roles should not be considered stereotypes. She cited the Bible to support her stance, and that eliminating gender in society would be detrimental because that would put people farther from God's original plan for humans. She received 0 points out of 25 for the essay. The transgender professor Mel Curtis said Miss Fulnecke failed to use empirical evidence and called parts of her essay offensive. So this is what the instructor wrote. To call an entire group of people demonic is highly offensive, especially a minoritized population. Is minoritized even a word? I don't know. But the instructor wrote this on her paper on the online grading platform that he used to grade her paper. Samantha says she followed the assignment guidelines and should not be penalized for her religious viewpoints. The Oklahoma University officials point to the formal grade appeal process as the student awaits a decision. So there's a formal process that she can go through to try to get her grade amended. And she's awaiting that decision. She's gone through that process. So Turning Point, Oklahoma University, that chapter there stands with Samantha. And they say, quote, "We should not be letting mentally ill professors around students. Clearly, this professor lacks the intellectual maturity to set her own bias aside and take grading seriously. Professors like this are the very reason why conservatives can't voice their beliefs in classrooms. Kudos to Samantha for leading by example and standing up for what she believes in. University of Oklahoma, do better." According to the New York Post, in her essay, which was supposed to cover how people are perceived based on societal expectations of gender, University of Oklahoma student Samantha Fulnecke presented a biblically fueled tirade against the notion that there are multiple genders. This is what the New York Post posted and published. A biblical tirade, biblically fueled tirade. No, she just said that, hey, God's design two genders, it's detrimental to suggest that there are more than two genders. You see, the problem with people who condone sin is that they don't like being told that their life choices are sinful and detrimental to society at large. Okay, and I think that's might have been the professor's problem here. Being that she is transgender, I'd imagine it's a he pretending to be a she. But you do the math here. That may or may not apply here, but people who tend to condone sin. And like I said, the fact that he chose this assignment to begin with tells me all I really need to know. This is statistically insignificant. The transgender community is statistically insignificant, and dedicating assignments to statistically insignificant diseases or dysphoria or gender identity, dedicating entire assignments to that just does not make mathematical sense. So the psychology course professor, graduate student, Mel Kurth, who uses she, they pronouns, failed Fulnecke on the grounds that she neglected to address the prompt and relied on personal ideology rather than empirical evidence. See, if I was this student Samantha, I would have just said that the assignment is BS because transgender population is 0.8% of the population, whereas adult Americans who are depressed is 18% of the population. And this assignment is BS. I'm not doing it. But I mean, good for her for citing the Bible. And it is empirical evidence. The Bible is real. And she is of that belief. It's not even a belief. It's just facts. So I don't know what this professor's assigned at birth gender is. But I have a feeling and this is typically the way it goes, very rarely in the transgender community do you see a female trying to be a male. You see men who fail to be men trying to be female and enter female spaces because they're weirdos. Okay. So I don't know. But I think we all know the answer, right? So Fulnecki, she wrote this in her paper. So here's the offensive and her calling people demonic, the transgender community demonic. Here's what she says in the paper. Society pushing the lie that there are multiple genders and everyone should be whatever they want to be is demonic and severely harms American youth. Fact check, true. I would say that it's pretty bold of her to state such truths in an essay where she was assigned this essay by a they, them, because this professor goes by she, they pronouns. But the truth hurts, and that's a personal problem for them. She continues in the essay, I live my life based on this truth, and I firmly believe that there would be less gender issues and insecurity in children if they were just raised knowing that they do not belong to themselves, but they belong to the Lord. See, honey, you got to get out of psychology. You are meant for ministry. Okay. Samantha, if you're watching, you are meant for ministry. Get out of the pseudoscience of psychology and psychiatry. In a sane society, this wouldn't be an issue. But we no longer live in a sane society. And, the professor was like, oh, she called trans people demonic. Not true. And, we don't live in a sane society. That's why this story exists. The problem, however, is that this article should not exist. This story about this girl being discriminated against, it shouldn't exist because these topics shouldn't even be up for debate. This shouldn't even be a freaking assignment. It's 0.8% of the population identifies as transgender. Why are we having our young psychologists learn about this? It's statistically irrelevant. The chances that they encounter a transgender in their career is going to be small. Comparative, when you compare it to those who are suffering from things like depression, suicidal thoughts, bipolar disorder is even higher than transgenders. Yeah, but this isn't a sane ideology, and the left has utterly gone mad, which is exactly why this professor created this assignment. Statistical, empirical reasoning, logical reasoning for assignment choices was not calculated when he or she, they, I don't know, assigned this assignment or created this assignment. So the professor wrote, to call an entire group of people demonic is highly offensive, especially a minoritized population. This is what the professor wrote, and he nitpicked a slew of contradictions in Fulnecki's essay. Okay, so correction. She didn't. I just told you verbatim what she wrote in her essay. She didn't call an entire group of people demonic. She simply said that society pushing a lie that there's multiple genders, that everyone should be whatever they want to be, is demonic. Okay, so she's not calling the group of people, she's calling this ideology demonic. Okay, and she says that it severely harms American youth. Demons thrive on chaos, and they go after the most vulnerable, aka the children. Okay, so while this might be offensive to some people who've dedicated much of their identity to lies, again, the truth hurts. The sooner that the they thems realize that that this is the truth, the better off they thems will be. Okay, and the truth hurts, but the truth is good for you. It's compassionate. And demons, the spiritual world thrives. The spiritual world and where demons live, they thrive off chaos and going after the most vulnerable. So she's talking about an ideology. She's talking about the spiritual world. She's not talking about the people. She's talking about the battles of not with flesh, but with the dark forces and the principalities of the world. Okay. So last I checked, I don't know, this they, them professor is probably going to have to check out the help wanted section. Likely. I do want to share the statement from the University of Oklahoma here with you, and I'll read some of it. The University of Oklahoma takes seriously concerns involving First Amendment rights, certainly including religious freedoms. Upon receiving notice from the student on the grading of an assignment, the university immediately began a full review of the situation and has acted swiftly to address the matter. First, the college acted immediately to address the academic issue raised by the student. College leaders contacted her on the day her letter was received and maintained regular communication throughout the process. As previously stated, a formal grade appeals process was conducted. The process resulted in steps to ensure no academic harm to the student from the graded assignments. Second, the student reported a filing claim of illegal discrimination based on religious beliefs to the appropriate university office. The Oklahoma University has a clear process for reviewing such claims, and it has been activated. The graduate student instructor has been placed on administrative leave pending finalization process. To ensure fairness in the process, the full-time professor is serving as the course instructor for the remainder of the semester. OU remains firmly committed to fairness, respect, and protecting every student's right to express sincerely held religious beliefs. Okay. So that was the statement. And she goes on in the assignment. She says, you can say strict gender norms you can say that strict gender norms don't create gender stereotypes, but this isn't true by definition of what a stereotype is. Please note that acknowledging gender stereotypes does not immediately denote negative connotation, a nuance this article discusses. So she says this in her essay. So the statement there by the university, and what she says here, what she's saying is that this is not religiously held belief. Like, yes, she cited the Bible as, supplementation is to her argument. But this isn't like, a bad thing to recognize that females do one thing, males do another thing. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? That's not like they're saying that stereotypes or this gender the differences here is a bad thing. And that there is a negative connotation to recognizing the differences between the two genders. And they're saying that this is all religious and that she religious beliefs and we're going to fight for her First Amendment rights and yada, yada, yada. I don't even know really what that statement means. The professor essentially here wanted to get the student to buy into a lie. Religious or not, Bible or not, whatever she cited biblically, it doesn't really matter because ultimately it's a lie, okay, that there aren't two genders or two sexes. Okay, I hate the word gender. And this professor essentially wanted the student to accept that lie and the lie of the article and what the article promoted. Nonetheless, clearly feelings were hurt. We need stronger professors in our nation's schools. We shouldn't have they, them professors. I'm sorry. If you can't decide what gender you are on any given day, you probably aren't capable of leading a classroom and leading our psychologists, our young psychologists. You can't demand that people accept lies and fail students when they debate those lies. That's not how the university system was intended to work. And it's baffling that these things have gotten this far. It's unclear if this instructor will be out of a job. But if the university finds that there was, in fact, discrimination based on her Christian beliefs. We can only hope they do the right thing, which is to fire not only the professor, but the instructor here or the graduate student. I think the graduate student is the one who's transgender, by the way, the she, they pronouns. Until then, there's only one thing left to say, and that is that there are two genders. That is factual. Bible taken out of it. This is something that has been recognized for all of humanity, that there are two genders. That's it. Enough said. But I know that you knew that. I know that you know that. I know that. So, yeah, there are two genders. All right. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Sabrina Carpenter. We're going to go ahead and get to her. Let me get to some of your comments. Christ didn't go to the cross for good people. He went to the cross for the worst people. All sins are under the blood. Yeah. I mean, people don't like it when people point out people's sins. I don't like it when people point out my sins. I've got quite the little potty mouth, and I'm so grateful for a God that convicts me of my sin. And we should be praising God, and we should be thankful that we have brothers and sisters in Christ who convict us in our sin, because ultimately we have to be saved from that sin through the blood and professing Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Yeah, they are not weirdos, they're perverts. Yeah, I think I said that the trans people are weird. Yeah, the she, theys, the theys, thems, a bunch of weirdos. Yeah, they're perverts. I'm not sure if this is a he to she, this professor, graduate student, whatever, in Oklahoma. I don't know. And I'm not really all that concerned. Most I see in the transgender community is the men transitioning to women. I said that they're weird, and they fail as men, so then they decide to go be women, and really it's a ploy to try to get around women, because they failed at getting women the natural way, being straight, heterosexual, and trying to enter into a romantic relationship with women. They failed at that, and they don't know how to do it correctly in not a weird way. So they transition, and then they're around women. And I think you're exactly right. I used the wrong word there. It's not weird. It's perverted. So, yeah. All right. Let's get to Sabrina Carpenter. And I want to make sure I get to this one. So she is saying it's evil and disgusting. How dare Donald Trump use my song in his video, the White House. So it's not really Donald Trump using her song. It's the administration, people who work, or whoever's running the White House social media account. They need a raise because they're great. And she said, they're evil and disgusting to use my song to benefit the inhumane agenda. Or to benefit an inhumane agenda. To the rest of us, the sane world, not the Sabrina Carpenters of the world, we're all here for it. I love the White House social media. Whoever's running it needs a raise today. So at this point, I think it's just a personal problem for Sabrina Carpenter. It's a personal problem for the singer here. And she just needs to get over it, because most of America really likes what the White House is doing as far as their social media. And let's take a look at the video.
Some freaky positions. Have you ever tried this one? Have you ever tried this one? Have you ever tried this one? I know you want my touch for some freaky positions.
Another one I really like. I won't pull it up right now. Maybe I'll pull it up at the end of the show. But it's the Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All theme song. I think it was the U.S. Border Patrol. They published that. Maybe it wasn't the White House, but that was funny. It was the theme song for Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All, and then it was just ICE agents arresting criminal illegals. So yeah, that was the video she got so upset about. The person in charge of the White House social media deserves a raise. The memes are in fact memeing. The right knows how to meme. We talked about Pete Hegseth's Franklin the Turtle meme. Had me rolling. Daily Wire. They had a meme out there with The Office and Somalian criminal illegal aliens. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. Democrats, whenever they get deported. Very funny. And they chose this very fitting song. It's called Juno. I'm not a Sabrina Carpenter fan. I don't listen to pop. I'm going to be honest with you. Secular music just rubs me the wrong way. I had this weird dream. You guys know I'm like 30 weeks pregnant. Where you get crazy dreams. I was back in high school and I was singing this song. It's Imagine by, I don't know who it was, John Legend. I don't know what that song is. Yeah, John Lennon. So I was back in high school and I was singing that song, and in the dream I was singing the song, and I kept looking around at everybody, and I was like, are you listening to the lyrics? The lyrics of this song, and I'm sorry, I'm going on a little tangent here, but the lyrics of this song are: imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. No borders, I think is what they say in the song. I just pulled up the lyrics. I was singing that as a sophomore in choir in high school, and we were all, very emotional. We were sending our seniors off, in this song, and I was in, show choir and things, and my choir instructor had us sing this song, and I didn't really even recognize the lyrics or really understand them or care to understand them, whatever the case was. I was a sophomore in high school. So we sang it, and communism, no borders, no countries, no sovereignty, no heaven. It's anti-Christian communist song that they had us singing. And I woke up and I was like, man, I was really indoctrinated, or they tried. My high school did. So I don't really listen to secular music for that reason, because you don't realize it, because I don't know, there's something about it. You're singing the secular song and you're really into the beat, but then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, what am I saying? So Juno is the song, and it was kind of fitting. And the video here shows off the great efforts ICE is making in arrests. So they used this very trending, fitting song called Juno. According to AP, responding to the use of her song Juno in this video montage depicting ICE raids, Carpenter tweeted out, this video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. The caption for the clip used by the White House was quoting her lyrics. Have you ever tried this one? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Get out here. We're deporting you. Very funny. So she's a long list of performers, and I didn't even know this, but a ton of artists have objected to President Donald Trump and his administration using songs and copyrighted material. ABBA, Bruce Springsteen's Olivia Rodrigo, Rihanna, Phil Collins, Neil Young, Eddie Grant, Panic at the Disco, Guns N' Roses, Celine Dion, Beyonce, Adele. Oh dear. However, will the Trump administration go on? How can they go on when these pop stars keep coming out and condemning the use of their music? Oh no. Well, it turns out life is still lifing. Everybody's still functioning. And again, these are personal problems. Just you don't prefer the Trump administration, and you don't prefer that they use your music for things. It's a personal problem. Get over it. Stop tweeting. Why can't they be more like Nicki Minaj? I've the fact that Nicki Minaj has come out and said more about Christian persecution and deaths happening in Nigeria than pastors behind the pulpit is concerning to me. But here's Nicki Minaj, a tweet she puts out. She says, the president and the first lady of the United States of America, Barbs, I don't know which one of you uploaded this to the White House TikTok, but just know unlimited backstage passes for life, Gag City passes for life. I don't know what timeline you're on right now. I'm just going with the flow. I don't know everything in this. But this is the White House. They posted a video of President Donald Trump using a Nicki Minaj song. And, you know, I just wish these pop stars would be more like her. All right, so that was the White House TikTok. They used a Nicki Minaj song. Nicki said, "You guys have backstage passes forever, for life." You know, and pop stars, you know, I don't know why they loathe efforts to make the country more safe. Like, you know, we're arresting criminal aliens here. I don't know why they loathe these efforts. It's beyond reason. You know, your opinions are irrelevant. Okay, someone should really inform you of that. When it comes to the rest of the country, we're all hyped up. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm super hyped about the ICE agents arresting criminal aliens. Okay, they should stick to, these pop stars should stick to what they know best, which is just singing your song, keeping your opinions to yourself. Let's leave it at that. Okay. But they're far too arrogant for that. But what else is new? All right, I'm going to end the show with some Pokemon White House. I think it was the U.S. Border Patrol. I think that this is funny. Pokemon, gotta catch them all. The Department of Homeland Security, sorry. They posted this. This is funny. I just think that this is the best one. And it's so hype. Like, you've got no business being this hype, this awesome. Department of Homeland Security memeing this hard. You've got no business, but you did it anyway. Take a look.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
This is what happened.
Oh, that is like my all-time favorite. Couldn't have the Pokemon cards at the end kill me. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, the memes coming out of this administration, for all that, you know, Donald Trump, the Venezuela regime change, the Epstein files, the AI tax credits, things that I haven't really been a super mega Trump supporter on. For all those things, I mean, the memes are chef's kiss. Beautiful. All right, that's gonna do it for our show. Sorry, I'm cutting it short a little bit today. I ran out of show, but big stories today. Matt Van Epps, in the Tennessee 7th Congressional District. He won that special election over the woman who hates Nashville and said it on tape. So that was the story. We had Pete Hegseth sharing a hilarious meme about Franklin the Turtle. The publisher getting their panties in a bunch. The Canadian publisher getting their panties in a bunch because Pete Hegseth used Franklin the Turtle in this hilarious meme about the narco-terrorist and Franklin going after the narco-terrorist. And then I talked about the Illinois Congressman, Raja Krishnamurti, Indian guy, just declared war on the American graduates, and he reintroduced the HIRE Act, which would double the H-1B visas from 65,000 to 130,000 a year, which would actually be more than that because the spouses of those H-1B visa holders get something called an H-4. So you're importing even more foreign labor than what the bill actually lays out. So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. Talk to you soon.